City of Stevens Point Common Council meeting, recorded November 17, 2025.
We'll call the Common Council meeting to order. Please join me in our salute to the, I'm sorry, wait, roll call first. Psych.
Christensen.
Here.
Guthrie.
Here.
Keemer.
Here.
Broderick.
Here.
Burr.
Here.
Steinmetz.
Here.
Nevon is excused. Shuda.
Here.
Lang.
Here.
Boozy.
Here.
And Morrow.
Here.
Okay, now please join me in our salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. One more reminder, items number 28, 29, and 30 are postponed and will not have any action on them nor discussion this evening. The Commonwealth project.
I assumed it's like, oh, you guys want to put it in.
I thought we'd be here till 9 o'clock. Yeah, right.
Dan, I'm muting you. The Commonwealth project will be brought up again for consideration at a special meeting in this room Tuesday, December 2nd at noon. There will also be a virtual option, so watch for that. The reason I say that is it's a special meeting, because normally we would meet the third Monday of every month, but because we have a timeline issue, we will be having a special meeting for two items. This is one of them, the Commonwealth project, which is item number 28. So again, there will be no action or discussion on 28, 29, or 30 this evening. We have a presentation tonight from Somerville, who is the architectural firm we hired to design our city hall. The council chose them, and we've been working diligently, basically daily, meeting weekly, with Somerville to try and get everything laid out. We have worked with all of the staff, several of the employees, all of the stakeholders, the people that know how City Hall is supposed to function, the people that do the job. They, in my opinion, should have the first crack at it and tell them, Somerville, how they want the work to flow, what they need for office space, what they need for lighting. It makes sense that we have the experts and the people that are doing the jobs make those decisions. We also have a committee that hasn't met yet. That was another one we had a hard time finding a day that worked, but we got a day now that worked to do some of the more aesthetic things in regards to City Hall. What kind of graphics do we want on the walls? What color carpeting? How do you want landscaping to look? Things like that. And we've asked, every alderperson was invited to that. We have a couple of alderpersons, one city staff, and I think one citizen that has agreed to join us, working with Somerville's designer to get that laid out. So the presentation you see tonight is just that. It's a presentation. The people who are doing the work know best what is needed, what is missing, and that's where our direction has been given to Somerville, is through those experts and the people doing the job. The other thing I want to talk about is those meetings, right? We have made leaps and bounds trying to make sure that our meetings are reaching as many people as possible. All of the law say that you have to publish your agenda in a newspaper of, what is it, newspaper of note?
Of record.
Record, newspaper of record, thank you. Newspaper of record, every year we bid that out. So the law says we have to publish it in the newspaper of record, and we have to post it in 2 locations. Well, how many people get down to City Hall every week just to check what kind of meetings we got? And there really isn't any much options for home delivery of newspapers these days either. So we publish our agendas on the website as soon as we have them. We have push notifications. We have a calendar of events. We could publish the meetings well in advance, That spurred calls. Well, how come you have a meeting published for December, but you don't have an agenda up yet? Well, the agenda is not going to come out until December. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. We made an internal call at one point to not put anything on the calendar until the agenda was ready. Maybe that's great, maybe that's not, but it's available. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to put the scheduled meetings out on the calendar and then just put agenda coming soon or something like that. So people have a better way to plan, I guess. Do me a favor, kind of keep an eye on that. If anybody pops in, let me know. Punch me in the head or something. So to help facilitate this, we've had for a very long time push notifications. If you want to know when the Common Council meets, I'm muted?
Yes.
Oh. Well, of course I'm muted. Thank you. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. You didn't miss anything. We have push notifications. So there's a little button called subscribe. And you can subscribe if you are interested in the Airport Commission or the Board of Water and Sewerage Commissioners, which is a really good one, or the Common Council, or if there's a topic that you want to get notifications on, you can sign up for those and you'll get emails when those agendas are published. We try and do the best we can, making sure that our meetings are out there so people know what's going on and have the opportunity to voice their concerns. But it's not perfect. There's always room for improvement. So we're going to try doing that. We're going to publish the agenda or the meeting times in advance, the ones that are regular, and just put a little note out there that says agenda coming soon or coming soon to an agenda near you. But I would encourage you to sign up for the notifications. Those are the biggies. Sometimes we don't have an agenda until 2 days before the meeting. I can tell you that almost everything on the council agenda has been at least one other agenda prior to this. So there's several opportunities for the public to voice their concern, which brings me back to the presentation you're going to have tonight. If anyone in the public sees these presentations or hears about them and has questions, anyone can submit comments about anything at any time through any of the email options we have. Contact your alderperson, call one of the offices. I mean, there's countless options. You don't have to wait till a public meeting to give us your opinion on anything that the city is talking about or considering. Or maybe you heard a rumor and you want to just clear it up, because I've seen people wanting to comment on things that we're not talking about that ever. That's not a thing. So take advantage of all of the ways that we have to get involved in your local government. Is it perfect? No, it's definitely not. But we're doing the best that we can with what we have. Sometimes, like this special meeting that we have, come at a very short notice. That's not our fault, that's not your fault, but we won't have that agenda published until we know what's going on. So be patient with us, but take advantage of those options like the push notifications. If anybody needs help signing up for those notifications, call my office, call IT, call any of the clerk's office people. They can help you subscribe to that. All right, we will move on. Item number 3 is persons who wish to address the mayor and council on a specific agenda item other than a public hearing should register their request at this time. Those who wish to address the common council during a public hearing are not required to identify themselves until the public hearing is declared open by the mayor. We do not have any public hearings this evening. So did everybody sign in? And did anybody who wants to speak fill out one of these sheets? Okay, I think we're good then. First up, we'll have Jen. Name and address.
Thank you. Jenny Burton, 5718 Sandpiper Drive, Stevens Point. This Saturday, I attended the Music of the Masters. It's a fundraising event for the Aber Suzuki Center. They were celebrating 50 years of their fundraising arm called the American Suzuki Foundation. And I have a very personal connection with this group. I attended UWSP in 1976, right out of undergrad school, and I heard about this Suzuki thing. To me, I thought Suzuki was a motorcycle. So I came here, checked it out, enrolled, got my grad degree from UWSP. And this place, I don't know if you realize this, but we had the first summer Suzuki camp in the world outside of Japan. Marjorie Aber was a woman of vision, and she made it happen. And people come here, they continue to come here from all over the place. Stevens Point is put on the map because of the Suzuki program. So today I congratulate the Aber Suzuki Center and Anne Marie Novak, the current director. Bravo. The other thing I wanted to address, I am in support, this is a new chapter, I'm in support of the overall plan proposed by the Commonwealth Development Corporation. I have attended all of the public meetings and with great interest. I like the invitation that has been given to the public to give feedback. And I appreciate Commonwealth revising their plans as they get input from the public and from staff. Here are the features I like best. I like the housing component because it offers a sliding scale of different income levels. It could entice a senior citizen like me. And seniors are going to be increasing in number in 5 years. It's going to go from 1 in 4 to 1 in 6 people are going to be senior citizens. So the baby boomers are starting to multiply, and they will be looking for housing options. So I like the sliding scale of housing options in the plan. And I think a child care center would be attractive to working families. And I like the transit center and the park area. I have full confidence that the Common Council will find a way to make this feasible. I think that it's not a feasible option right now, just from what I've seen. And I think that's why one reason why it's being postponed, to make it work. The current model, on the other hand, just because it's not feasible today, doesn't mean I'm going to complain and say I'm going to reject the whole thing. I think that's foolish. These people and the staff have a vision for Stevens Point. It's viable. I think it's a super idea. I just think I want to make sure that you know that there are people who are in total support of what's happening. Just like a family, when a project costs too much, a second option is looked at. A third option, until the options work for most. So thank you for your diligence. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Jackie Guthrie.
Hi folks, Jackie Guthrie, District 2, Alder. I'm at 2700 Peck Street. Last month, a member of the broader Central Wisconsin community rose to share interactions that she reported to have had with the mayor of Stevens Point on social media. She described the mayor's behavior as shameful and asked why this was allowed to take place. She asked about legal charges or administrative code violations that govern the comportment of city staff. I've been thinking a lot about what she shared this past month and wondering what recourse City Council has to attend to discourteous behavior by any elected official. What I found in city and state administrative code and in speaking with city staff and other elected officials is that the mayor's purported conduct did not rise to the level of illegal activity. As such, the police department is not planning to cite the mayor or take other action. Furthermore, as an elected official, the administrative code of conduct that governs the behavior of city staff who are hired into their positions does not apply to our mayor. Finally, there's a code of conduct that governs state public officials, 19.59 if you want to reference it. It focuses mainly on financial behavior that might enrich a public official, not on social media or interpersonal decorum. So in short, my conclusion from having done this research is that the citizens of Stevens Point, if they're unhappy with how the mayor comports himself on social media or using his time during City Hall open hours or otherwise, Their recourse is a mayoral election. The next scheduled in our municipality is April of 2027. They might also consider lobbying for transitioning to a form of government that has staff, not an elected official, at the helm of the municipality so that our administrative code applies to that individual. I am deeply disheartened by the purported conduct and frustrated that other city leaders are spending their time and the city's resources responding to unforced errors of judgment. I agree with the community member that we should all expect more of leaders. They should be models of civility, not incivility. I hope to see better behavior as we move forward. And I yield.
Thank you very much. Next up, Jerry Farner.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. Jerry Farner, 12315 Acadia Lane, Lac du Flambeau, Wisconsin. I'm here in regards to the Shopko parking lot. I am the owner of Executive Place building, and the original proposal started in about 2005 through 2007, several meetings. We had to acquire 5 parcels of land to make a site for that building. And as everyone knows, you can't build a building without parking. So our agreement with the city was to be able to use all of the parking across the street except for 60 spots in front of Shopko. And I do have 2 former City of Stevens Point employees that will attest to that in those meetings. Currently, we have 159 people in that building, and they need to park somewhere. Monday at 10 o'clock, a roll call was taken in the parking lot. There was 146 cars in that Shopko parking lot. So I don't know where you plan on putting all these people from the apartment and everywhere else in my people, but I was promised parking, and I'm going to stick to that. So I'm willing to sit down with the city and see what we can work out, what's fair. I'm even willing to pay to buy a parking lot so I don't have to go through this again. I would also like to just mention a couple things about this Commonwealth development. I don't know them, but I'm involved in a similar project in Minocqua. We're building 112 apartments, low to moderate income, and our average cost right now is at $173,000 per unit. This Commonwealth average cost is $356,000 per unit. Granted, we don't have a parking ramp and we don't need elevators. But I know what underground parking costs per stall, and I know what elevators cost. And, you know, this project is inflated because it's not their money, from what I understand. So I think you really need to sit back and think about that proposal. Number one, it's in the wrong spot. And number two, what if you get it back? And what if the rent is not what we all think it's going to be? It's got to get paid for somehow. So I'm hoping I get contacted from somebody from the city to talk about what they're going to do about my parking that I'm promised. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jerry, and I appreciate knowing the parking concerns that Executive Place continues to deal with.
Yeah.
Troy Hanatsky.
Council, thanks for the opportunity. Troy Hanatsky, 912 Main Street is my business. I live in 217 Whiting. So I'm here to speak about the Shopko lot and the development that came about. I'm glad to see it got pulled off to tonight's meeting because that's the proper protocol, I believe, when something wasn't following the right order. I also want to reiterate the parking survey that was done on 6/4 at 2:45 on a Wednesday. That parking lot had 159 cars. At last Thursday at 9 a.m., it had 140 cars, and 146 cars, as Jerry mentioned this morning, actually, when that survey was done. A lot of displaced vehicles that have to be thought about and looked at. I want to reference something this council did here a little while back. When they had a study or an ordinance on the books here to have a no camping ordinance. We were told, well, we can't have the no camping ordinance yet because we have no place to put the displaced homeless that's on how it's going to go. So they came up with a 365-degree day shelter, and hopefully that project's going to go along, and that's where they're going to go. And then we heard this council, then we'll retake up that camping ordinance. We need to figure out the displacement parking if this is going to happen. That's first and foremost. We bring up the same story about Northside Yard. Northside Yard, they were built. They don't have all their phases done yet. They're maxed out on parking already. I believe the daycare would be great for downtown. Not in that spot, not on Main Street. Main Street's for business, for-profit business on Main Street. I've been a business owner downtown 32 years, property owner as well, same time. And the Northside Yard has all the vacancy on the first floor except one, which is a financial center, which gets like maybe what, a couple handfuls of people a day. Not even maybe. So they don't take up much parking at all. We can still bring the daycare downtown, approach Northside Yard. They're probably willing to rent their space because they know they have no parking. They know no one's going to rent their space because they currently don't have any parking. So, I mean, you couldn't even give me a spot to put my business in there that would need more than 1 or 2 people because there's no place for customers to park. And that's just one kiosk that's in there right now. So, daycares come downtown. Put them in Northside Yard. They have tons of room, and then it won't require just drop-off, pick-off. That's all we require. So that availability of parking is first and foremost in any project. When you think about it, you better think of that plan first. Central Business District is for business. I know it's a small amount, but downtown there's a thing called the Business Improvement District that requires on tax bases, individual tax bases, each property is assessed an extra tax. This property, as I hear from Mark Christensen, that they won't be paying any tax because it's a residential unit and a nonprofit that'll be in there with the university. So I don't believe that property is going to qualify in the bid tax. I could be wrong. I'm wrong. So they will be paying bid tax.
They should be paying bid tax, yes.
They should be. Will they be? So that's something to look at as well, right? I know my time is up, so I just want to leave that one statement that is business district. Main Street should have business properties. It's not very well thought of. It's not being very neighborly to say Northside Yard. Well, yeah, we know you're having a parking issue right now, and we're just going to make it worse for you. But thank you for bringing your money to town.
Thanks, Troy. Rosalind?
Rosalind Kellier, 1111 Minnesota Avenue. My business is the Rose House at 1140 Clark Street, and I'm just here to kind of reiterate what's been said, that parking is really important for the businesses downtown. I own a wedding venue. I have the capacity of 200 people. So when there is a wedding with 150 to 200 people, I need some parking. These people are wearing high heels, they're dressed up, they're loading things. They can't get there any other way besides in their vehicles. So again, just want to stress, parking is really important. Also, over the weekend, I went out to dinner. I went to park my car, and there was no parking. Like, I went to the Wisconsin Nicaragua Partners fundraiser, and the parking lot was full. And I thought, there's so many people in here, I may as well just go home. And I wonder, when people come downtown, like for a parade or for another event, and there's no parking, will they assume everything's busy and just leave? And will us as business owners who are fully invested, who've spent our well-being into our businesses succeeding, be losing on customers? Because I don't know how all in Commonwealth is, but I can tell you I'm all in my business downtown. So I'm just hoping you guys will consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Bob?
Bob Butt, owner of Dye Point Scuba. 944 Main Street, 1434 Plover Heights is my home address. Moved Dye Point Scuba downtown in 1999, bought the building, okay, and last 2 years I was on the bid board. I'd like to say that when I was on the bid board, there was no talk of this project. After being off the bid board, I learned about it through an email and came to that meeting, spoke my piece, and I was here, deja vu, about a week ago, speaking my piece. And since then, actually at that meeting, I sat here listening to the proposal, writing notes, and then gave my little presentation. Since then, I've come up with a whole laundry list of reasons why this is a bad idea. And I delivered the list to the clerk, city clerk, and I was told it would be given to all of your members, all right? And I'm assuming you've all received a copy of it? Yes? Yes? So I'm not going to repeat everything on there. Also, this parking lot is in the, was it the ARDC, whatever it is, okay, for redevelopment, and it's classified as blighted. And just curious how you classify a parking lot that's nicely paved with lighting as blighted. So I'm glad that this has seen the light of day and other people have gotten involved. On Friday, I took copies of this, walked the downtown with my broken leg, okay, 2 months post-op, and most of the people I talked to were like, what? What are they going to do? Where are we going to park? Bad idea. Most of the people I talked to, and I handed out to businesses downtown over 70 of these. 70. I didn't have anybody say, well, you're wrong, and dispute any of my points on here. So I'm glad this is finally seeing the light of day, and again, bad project, not a bad project, okay, but a bad location, very, very bad location. All right, Central Business District, CBD, from my class in urban geography in college. You don't put a project like this in a central business. This is for business, not for resident. Resident is secondary. Thank you.
Thank you. Ashley?
Hi, Ashley, 1052 Main. And I'm also an Amherst resident, so Lime Lake Road, Amherst. I'm a new owner of a business downtown, so Ash Tree Arts. I'm part of the Artisan Alley. You probably know the Artisan Alley. It's the alleyway that you're like, I'm not sure if I should go down that alleyway. It's recently been decorated with some fun lights and things. We're trying to spruce it up. I want to say thank you, I guess Bob, because I got one of these, and I wasn't aware of all of this, so very cool to know how to get involved, because you don't know that on a day-to-day basis when you're just trying to run your business. So, but I wanted to chime in because I figure you can't complain unless you chime in. So I am also in agreement with the not having the project downtown, and there's some points that me and my fellow artisans talked about, which was not creating more spaces where, like, we need spaces where we connect right now, because like that's just something that we're lacking. So we were talking, we came up with like a list of things that would be maybe positive for the community. So the arts, obviously I'm biased, but the arts and music and ways people can like connect in the community and make it a brighter, safer place. The alleyway has had its troubles, you know, with the homeless. Lighting, people have actually said, I don't want to go down that alleyway because it's creepy. So we're trying to bring some vibrancy, look into some ways that we can get some financial backing to make it happen. Parking is an issue for sure, even in the alleyway. Like everybody parks down there, and then even just people going from the parking lot to downtown, there's not a lot of people who can park back there. They're trying to park on the main drag. So I guess the things that I just wanted to point out, I know this is a thing that's going to be pushed off to another date, but things to consider would just be like community spaces where people can connect. Green Bay just had a place where they're doing an indoor playground for children. We have winter here for 4 to 6 months. So children having a place where they can, get their energy out and learn and do things like that, and places for just the community to connect. And then the other points would be just to really consider the downtown businesses. And this is our livelihood, and this is how we make our money. I guess last point is, I remember, I'm an 80s child, so in the 90s, the downtown Stevens Point was like the place to be. Like, you wanted to come downtown, you wanted to spend money. There was like the tea shop and all the cool places. So just kind of bringing back that vibe. Like, I'm really, really interested in bringing back that feeling and that vibe and making it a place where people can really just spend their time downtown. And yes, we will need lots of parking to do that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Ashley, I'd love to see that list. Send it to me.
I will.
That'd be great.
I will do that. Thank you.
Might have an opportunity for you, too.
Wonderful.
Andrea. Oh, wait, there's more.
Andrea Olson, 410 Franklin Street and 1101 First Street, finally in a couple days. I want to build off of a couple things. One of them is, should we have an administrative code? One has been suggested and sent to the city, and where are we at on that? Because it's 2025. Should we really have one for elected officials? Also, I'm still very confused because if you go onto the city's website, the mayor has his social media profilers there, and the one when you click on mayor for Facebook takes you to a profile that's been used once this past year. Instead, he also has the personal one, and then I said the wrong word last time, but his other profile is a content creator one, and the content creator one, you can get paid for your posts, and that is the one that he uses on a daily basis. So then, is that appropriate? Will that profile be transferred to the next mayor? So let's just think of that a little bit as we're going forward. Thank you for saying that you're going to put the meetings on the calendar, because those are known things. I really appreciate that. My email this week, again, has been taken seriously, and the meetings are going to be posted, and the county already does this where they say that the agenda isn't posted yet. They have that functionality, and it's easy when you have holidays to be able to just move that date around, because you know your schedule a year ahead of time and what days you won't be meeting or being able to meet like normal. And then another thing is, I had asked about presentations, because in the past when we had the presentation from the city, or when the city administrator was here, citizens were told that they couldn't speak because it was a presentation only. However, the alders were able to have a discussion. Is that right or not? You can, but then that opens you up to some other legal liabilities and things. Another thing is expert consultants for the City Hall. Expert consultants are really a third party analyzing long-term needs for the city. You have your staff that many times do have blinders on. We know what we need. This is all that we need. You end up with a $190 million jail, or you can end up with a building that doesn't actually work in the long run, but it's what people are used to. So to solve one of the parking issues, Executive Place, that was originally, back in the day, it was too big. That's why it got ruled out recently. It's only 8% occupied too out of the 40,000 square feet. $4.4 million listed on the market now for many years. $109 per square foot. Assessed at $3,994. Why don't the city consider that again? Go back to that. It was ruled out for 16 fleet cars. I haven't seen that many cars. Do we really have that many? So maybe we need to look back at that. That could generate getting traffic and things downtown. And when you have turnover from people visiting there, and there are 22 spots there, plus we have 2 more city parking lots within 600 feet, you could have enough parking there.
Thank you. The speaker list is exhausted in person. Did anybody online wish to speak? You obviously weren't able to sign up, but you can raise your hand or maybe just unmute yourself if you wanted to take your 3 minutes. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 5 is a presentation to the mayor and council from Justin Marquis, who is a project architect with Somerville, and there's an update on City Hall. Let me get that presentation up for you. And then we will share it. And why is it coming up online? Oh, it's PDF. You sent it to me in a PDF.
You just scroll down.
Yeah, we'll scroll through it. It's going to be a little more awkward. But Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, my name's Justin Marcus. I'm the project architect with Somerville Architects and Engineers. So just here today to kind of give you, like Mayor had mentioned, a little presentation on where we're at. We've been working with the city and the staff on the project for a while now, and just wanted to give everybody an update where we're at in the process. Still a lot of work to be done and still a lot of decisions to be made, but wanted to keep everything as, out there for what we've decided at the moment. So, as you've probably seen from the previous presentations that we had, there might be some similar slides in here, just as we're kind of moving through from the very inception, beginning of this project, all the way up until now. So the original project goals that were brought to us were to provide a warm, welcoming, and efficient building to house all of the city services in one place. Currently, a lot of the department administrative services are held at 1515 Strongs, and then at other facilities around the city, right? We're in one right now. The City Hall is a customer service for the community, so it needs to be easily navigatable for the residents, but it is also a place for staff to do their work, so it needs to be pleasant and effective space for them to do their best work for the residents. So one of the first things that we did was hold a visioning session. So this was bringing 10 different attendees from the city to our mid-state, and we had a little visioning session. So we brought together images, words, and really just tried to understand, what is your vision for this new city hall. So on the screen are some of those key words, provided images that really resonated with a lot of the staff. And we did compile a full report that really outlines, what were the frequently said items, most selected pictures, and all of that. I think the next couple slides kind of show some of those top selected images, just to kind of reiterate that pleasant, effective space for staff to do their work. Really providing better furniture, better lighting, better meeting spaces. Currently, there's only one shared conference room for the entire department, or for all of the departments within City Hall, making it kind of tricky for us to even have meetings at City Hall. So then with the project scope and understanding, so really just kind of looking at the building itself, if you want to go to the next one. So again, just really housing those administrative services, council chamber like we're in now, and then the parking for fleet vehicles. With that, we wanted to keep in mind for future expansion abilities for the city as things grow, needs change, provide off-street parking for the city-owned vehicles, multiple shared meeting spaces like I talked about, and then the large council chamber that were really the big ticket items that we really wanted to fit into this space, as well as providing a secure, safe facility for the public and the staff to go. So then part of that scope and understanding was having several meetings with city staff. So on the screen, you can see the list of all of the different departments that we met with, just to really understand their, big asks, big wants. What is it you guys need to really do your job effectively? If, let's say, money wasn't an option and you needed, what you need to get your tasks done. So then we put that all into a spreadsheet. As you can see, a little snippet of it there, and then just kind of started to place square footage size to those spaces, really just to understand that kind of big picture square footage footprint of the building. Then when we were doing that, we started to kind of ask the questions of how can there be some efficiencies interdepartmentally, understanding what departments needed to be by each other, what didn't need to be, what were public-facing, what weren't as public-facing, and really just kind of pull those together. So you can see we have a list there, and then just some of those, again, big-ticket rooms and spaces that were needed really to provide as much service as possible. Then we really started to break down those spaces into kind of a matrix just to really show how those spaces really wanted to be next to each other. As we had mentioned in a previous presentation that we did, we really identified kind of those core public functions that are really those departments that are public facing, that really need to have a good presence, versus some of those that are more important departmentally but don't necessarily interact with the public as well. So that kind of helped to inform some of the design work that we did. So then as we started to move through this project, that initial program calculation came out to be about 41,000 square feet. Again, that was what if you could have everything for your department that you needed at this time, what would that look like? Came out to around 41,000 square feet. Given our understanding of the construction costs now, that would come out to around $15 million for construction cost, and then factoring in some of those other fees, furniture, abatement, some of those other pieces of the total construction project, bringing it up to around $17.5 million. As we started to develop the project a little bit more, we were able to either combine some of those spaces to find some efficiencies within the departments, as well as pull some of those square footages out for future expansions. So those can be built into the design, but don't necessarily have to be built and paid for with this current project. So that was able to bring down that square footage, ultimately bringing down some of the costs to around $13.6 million for cost of construction, and then scaling some of those project costs as well. Right? You're not buying as much furniture because it's not as big. During the schematic design phase, we're also really starting to drill down on actual costs, right? When we were doing our initial program, we were kind of giving some placeholder values for certain elements, getting soil borings, getting surveys done. We actually got those done, so we were able to then actually put some hard costs to those and start to pull those costs together. So the schedule, still reflective of that initial schedule that I had given. So we are currently on track within that kind of design development, as you'll see once we start getting into some of the more floor plan parts of the presentation. But we really have that kind of outline of where the building wants to be at, how it can work effectively for the staff, starting to create some massing, and then we can start really understanding some of the guts and the MEP engineering aspects of the building. So still looking good, on track with our schedule. So then the existing site conditions. So the site that we're talking about is 1039 Ellis Street. There's currently a building sitting on it. We have performed or ordered an ALTA survey that has been completed. And then I actually don't have it listed on here, but we actually have completed soil borings as well for the project site around that area, just to understand what's going on under the building to better inform our design and where we're going to be placing it.
Justin, I'm going to take just a minute here. We do have a couple of hard copies if anybody wants to take those home with them. And we just got the presentation today, so we will have it on our city website, hopefully tomorrow, so you can read all this really small letters and things like that.
So just identifying the site itself. So 1039 Ellis Street is within the historic downtown district, so it will be reviewed through the Historic Commission as it makes its way through that process. And then environmental hazards had already been a phase 1 environmental report had been filed by Stantec already, just to identify some of those contaminated soils, possible underground storage tanks. That just helped us to inform where to place the building and where we might run into some hazards. Stantec also provided a hazardous materials report, so this is more for the hazardous materials within the existing 1039 Ellis Street. Lead paint, asbestos, those types of things, just to help us understand initially when we were looking at reusing the building, if we could use that or if that was feasible, but then also would be needed to, if the building was going to be demolished, those dangerous materials would need to be abated before demolition would need to happen, so would have needed to happen regardless. The conclusion from that existing site investigation, including some schematic floor plans that we even put together just to understand how that building could be used if it were to be reused, really showed that it wasn't as practical or feasible to reuse the building compared with demolition and new construction, given the large size of the building, the abatement and remediation needed, as well as just a complete renovation of the project really didn't make it feasible. So with that, we started to get into schematic design. So we took those square footage numbers that we had generated from that programming phase, talking with the staff, and really started to place, general square footage size blocks on the site just to really understand how that could lay out on the site. Like I had mentioned with the soil borings and with the environmental reports, just using that to inform us where best to place it on the site, as well as just talking with some of the staff about how people move through the spaces within the building and where that site is located in relation to downtown, right? So the site is addressed to Ellis Street, but it occupies a very small frontage of Ellis Street that does also have that adjoining parking lot from the county building, really pinches that area off and didn't feel like it would create this really nice formal feeling that you should have when you're entering a civic building of this size. So what we ended up landing on was actually readdressing the building frontage towards Water Street, felt like more of a nicer, grander space, as well as giving us an opportunity to pull the building away from the street and create a nice little civic plaza, green space, a lot of opportunities with that we're actually still exploring now. Then once we took that kind of main massing of the building on the site, we started to plop in just some of those rooms, departments. This is really where we started to reference that matrix that was shown earlier to understand how those departments can fit in on the site. So color-coded, a little interesting kind of with some of the colors, but if you look the first floor on the right, we really wanted to put those public-facing departments really out in front to the public, make it easy, make it really simple wayfinding. So we created kind of an office bar to keep the complex geometries very simple within these kind of complex departments as they move through. So for the public, they are really interacting with this large, very nice atrium type space that then would have all of the departments that they would interact, very easily accessible, very easily for staff to get through, and just make it a very easy wayfinding navigation. We also pushed the municipal council court here towards the front, so in the little purple box there, just so that it would be a really easy way for people to find their way to it, easy way to get in and really be an active part of the community. Towards the back, we put the parking lot, which on here, it's shown as that indoor parking for the fleet vehicles, and we have some ways that we're looking at designing that as well that I can touch on in future slides. Second floor really is a lot of those departments that didn't need to be as public-facing, just really provides a more kind of secure area for staff to do those work that aren't. So then, kind of looking at that site plan that we had talked about and really just kind of starting to lay out how people would move through the site, where the parking would be, how the public would enter. So like I talked about, we were really looking at readdressing it to be a Water Street, maintaining that existing drive from Water, but then also providing a secondary access from Ellis Street as well, just to give some ability to access it from that kind of downtown area. really conceptually, we were able to get 79 parking stalls with those 18 stalls on the indoor parking on the site very easily. We were also able to separate it out to create some longer term like staff parking, as well as having more of a temporary parking out in the front. That would be for just people coming by really quick to just drop packets off, drop the check off. That would be really close to the entrance, as well as providing some opportunities for that to be flexible space for voting times or places for people to use that building more quickly. Creating a really nice main public entrance off of Water Street that really enters into that, we're calling it the atrium space there, but that really nice, bright, light-filled public entrance to it. So then as we started to really drill into that first floor plan and really start to think about rooms, wall thicknesses, janitor's closets, mechanical chases, some of those things, just to really understand how things are going to be laying out in that building. We really, again, wanted to make that main large central lobby that really made it easy for the public to find where they're going. They enter in, there'll be really nice wayfinding, and the staff will be able to see them as they enter. We also have the large council chambers with some dashed in lines just to kind of show a typical seating size in there. We can easily fit over 100 people in there, so have a lot of really nice flexibility with that space, as well as the parking. Second floor, again, like I talked about, just a lot of those departments that do have some public interaction but really are not as public facing. And then one of the things that we did with the second floor and the first floor is really create some controlled corridors so that staff would always have multiple exits out of the building, out of their office, in case something were to happen, just really giving them that flexibility and making sure that we're providing a safe space for them to do their work. On the second floor, we also have, so kind of dashed in on that is space accommodating for future expansion. Currently, we're just showing that as a lower roof, but if in 10 years it was determined that you needed more space, we had designed into the building that that wall could just be removed. The structure would already be, built to accommodate it, and we could extend out that whole second floor, adding a lot of square footage very cheaply. So, so all of those design elements that we've been working with were really based on the programming meetings that we had, the visioning sessions that we had with the staff, as well as you can see on there, we had meetings with each department head individually. So one whole day, just spent an entire day having a discussion with each staff for the department, specifically looking at their department, making sure that we had space accommodated for printing and storage and how they're functioning. We talked with the clerk about the voting room, how that all would lay out, the storage requirements for those rooms, the security requirements within those, treasury office, how people interact with it. So we really went through each department and really tried to understand how best those staff spaces would need to be laid out. So we call this design development, but that's what we've been working on currently. And so really just understanding how staff can best do their job within those suite kind of spaces that we designed for them. And so we refined the site plan a little bit more, but it still keeps the spirit of what we had been discussing. I'd mentioned earlier, we had kind of pulled the building off of Water Street a little bit. Currently on there, we're showing it as a conceptual plaza type space with a central walk, maybe a tree, fountain. There's lots of opportunities there that we're still exploring, but just to show that there can be a really nice kind of central civic space that could be a really great opportunity, as well as throughout the site, lots of opportunities for public art. Currently kind of where the mayor's mouse is, that's being a main promenade that people drive when they come through. Really good opportunity for some other public art, as well as the entire northeast corner where alongside Ellis, we are showing as an area for future expansion. The building can easily be pushed out that way because, after you've built on that second floor addition, if you determine that you need even more, there's still an ability to expand out that direction while not sacrificing the design of the building, but also leaving that space empty now with that design creates another opportunity for a really nice public park, public amenity. That could be a really nice forested area, green space. That also kind of creates a nice little central park type area between the Century building and the hotel, and then the new City Hall and the county building. So then, like I talked about, so this is, kind of a snapshot of the more design developed drawings. So we're really starting to look at materiality in terms of, wall composition, metal studs, brick, insulation, all of that, but then also starting to build in some of those engineering type things, making sure we have extra outlets for public works so that they can charge their batteries for their survey equipment, really starting to understand how the staff works and accommodating those types of engineer, plumbing, mechanical elements into their departmental spaces. The next slide just shows that second floor, right? Starting to talk with the IT department to figure out server racking and some of those things so that the building can efficiently and effectively serve the staff was all of the meetings that we've had leading up to this point. And then we started from that, then we were able to start developing some elevations, just how the building's going to look. Like I said, we still have a lot of decisions to make. We're still a long ways out, but as we start to generate these answers from the staff, we can start creating some of these drawings. So the bottom image is kind of, the bottom image on there is really that front facade. That's what you're seeing from Water Street. Given the historic location of the site and being in that historic district, it does influence our design in terms of what we're allowed to use in terms of materiality and some of the design elements and massing of the building. So we've been looking at the guidelines from the Historic Preservation Commission just to influence that and try to adhere to that. But there's still a lot of decisions to be made on exactly what those elements are, but they're elements to be started having to have those conversations. Just kind of looking from around the building. So the idea is that this office building honors the older Weber Tackle industrial factory that used to be on this site, at least how it used to look, not how it currently looked after the 9 different additions that it had over the years, but kind of pulling it back to honor that, as well as just taking cues from some of the other manufacturing type elements around, and then giving us the flexibility, right, to add on in the future and not sacrifice the design.
Justin, I'm going to pop in here 1 second because I thought this was a really interesting feature. Somerville had suggested, of course, after going through town and looking at all the things trying to get inspiration, instead of just having the single concrete slabs and some sort of ephes or something on them, they designed the building to incorporate the Core 10 steel. Core 10 is the stuff that looks rusted, like the point sign, the pine cones, the artwork that's on the north side, and things like the Cultural Commons, the Polish eagle sculptures with that Core 10 steel, kind of incorporating that into the building design to draw the whole community together. So I thought that was a really cool idea that you had.
Yeah, and really just, again, taking cues from kind of the local community. Our team went through and spent an entire day kind of surveying the downtown area, walking through, taking pictures, might have stopped off at a bar or two, just kind of trying to understand how the downtown community looks and try to pull in some of that feel. So like I had mentioned, with the parking and everything, so we've built into this design a couple cost control measures, just some ability for you guys to evaluate with that design, some ways that you can help control the budget. So in construction terms, we call them alternates, but really what it is you build in with it to say, Mr. or Mrs. Contractor, please give us a separate line item for X piece of the building. And that really just helps you guys look at it and say, hey, is this worth it, or is that not worth it, or we want to spend our money here, we don't want to spend our money here. And so as we've been developing these designs, talking with the staff about what their needs and wants are, and then trying to understand what are some of those pieces that maybe they could be built in the future, don't necessarily have to be now, but we can still, again, integrate it into the design so that the building isn't, a hodgepodge mess and some things were afterthoughts. So a couple of the alternate options that we had looked at is actually the parking element. So having that indoor parking space could be an alternate that could be built at a different time, and it could just be slab parking adjacent to the building currently. There has been talk and some design in there of a rooftop staff area that could be easily added, subtracted from the project, as well as looking at some of the emergency power and generator capacity within the building, and just understanding how that building wants to either act as an emergency shelter, or if that's something that maybe wants to be explored later and just get the building up and running at the moment. All of those things just kind of to help you guys evaluate and get a little bit more control over how much you want to spend at this time, while not sacrificing the kind of future vision for this space.
Yeah, Justin, I think that's important too. The reason we're looking at some of these alternate options, or making them alternate options, as is, the building comes in under budget, where we talked about. But I know there was some concern about budget overruns and change orders, and boy, everything always costs more in the end. So we have the ability to put these in or leave them out for now and put them in later if things start getting out of control price-wise. We can say, okay, well, maybe that indoor covered parking is going to wait 5 years, or maybe we'll downsize the generator to just give us the basic emergency power that we need. Solar on the roof is being considered, but it's probably going to be outside the scope of this project that we'd add on at a later date. So all of these options are really to kind of protect us in the event that things do start getting a little out of control. We have no reason to believe that the prices are any different now than what we've been quoted. But that'll be up for the council to decide, should we come in over budget. If the bids come in over budget, you can say, okay, we want this and we want that, but we don't want that. We're going to save that for later. We're going to save that for later. So it gives us quite a bit of flexibility once we go out to bid to make sure that we come in under budget, because that's the priority, and still not spoil our chances of adding these things on in the future.
As we work our way through design development as well, we at Somerville are constantly giving our expert opinion as well about some of those areas where, you guys might be asking for more than what we recommend. And so we are constantly looking out for those costs, overruns as the project goes. But some of these bigger ticket items, so here's an image, and the keen observer will note that in the design development floor plans, the parking was gone because we're showing it, in this as, hey, this is an alternate, this is that piece, that how much would it be to plop this here? Again, just trying to think of it holistically. So that is currently as far as we have gone. Again, like I've tried to mention, that we have designed it up until hearing what the staff needs, hearing how their space functions, how we can best effectively make them the best they can at their jobs. Now we're starting to get into more of those public-facing spaces, council chamber, atrium, some of those meeting spaces, toilet rooms, all of those kind of fun things. So now is when we're looking for some of the input on those spaces and how people can impact those non-departmental spaces. And so just to kind of wrap up, so the last slide here is just a conceptual image that we have, again, of how that building could be. Nothing has been decided, nothing's set in stone, any of those things. But you can see that elevation that I had talked about. So this is looking at the building from Water Street. If you look to the far left, you'll see there's kind of a gray box. That is the apartment building adjacent to the site, just to kind of give you a sense of scale, right? So that's a 5-story apartment building. We're looking at a 2-story building here. That office box space on the left there with some really nice brick material, that central atrium space, really nice big bright glass, lots of light to really give the staff that are in those spaces a lot of natural light. The kind of orange panels there, that was that Core-10 steel that the mayor had alluded to, which is also, I have to mention, a finish on the steel that is designed to weather, so it's not like we're just schlepping up rusty old panels. It's designed to look that way, but it doesn't affect the maintenance of the building, right? Again, brick, stone, metal panels, we're really looking at it from a long-term building maintenance side and how the building's gonna, last for years to come. Then on the far right, the large windows above for the council chamber, letting a lot of natural light into the space while not having direct views in for security, as well as just kind of giving that a nice glow in the evenings, right, when most of these meetings occur.
Justin, thank you very much. We appreciate your third-party expert opinion, sometimes pulling us in and saying, well, do you really need that? And kind of giving us what we really need rather than what we want. We appreciate that, and we will have you back. As I said, we've got a few hard copies of the presentation. All of the alders and department heads, of course, have this electronically, and we will have it up on our website tomorrow. Thank you. And with that, we will move on to the consent agenda. Item number 6. The consent agenda is before you. What are your wishes?
I would move approval. I second.
Seconded by Morrow. Discussion? Comments from the audience? Hearing and seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Morrow,
Aye.
Boozy,
Aye.
Lang,
Aye.
Shuda,
Aye.
Steinmetz,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Keemer,
Aye.
Guthrie,
Aye.
and Christensen.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 7 is a resolution, a request from Dustin Haugen for a conditional use permit to construct an accessory structure on the property located at 1208 Wisconsin Street with the parcel identified in your packet, utilizing the traditional neighborhood overlay district setback requirements consistent with Chapter 23.02, Sub 1, Sub H, Sub 3.
So my district, I will move approval.
Thank you, Alderperson Lang.
I'll second.
Seconded by Keemer. Discussion? Any comments from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, clerk, please call that roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 8 is a resolution, a request from Thomas Bushman for a conditional use permit to operate a single-family residence on the property located at 2877 Church Street with the parcel identified in your packet, also consistent with Chapter 23.02, Sub 2, Sub A, Sub 3, Sub D.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Lang. Discussion? Comments from the audience? Hearing and seeing none, clerk, call that roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
And Christensen.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 9 is a resolution. This is a request from Jim Lundberg, representing Point Crossing LLC, for a conditional use permit to construct multiple multifamily residential buildings on an unaddressed parcel bounded by Songbird Lane, consistent with Chapter 23.01, Sub 14, Sub F, and Chapter 23.02, Sub 1, Sub F, Sub 3, Sub B.
I'll move approval.
Moved by Keemer,
Second.
seconded by Burr. Discussion. Comments from the audience? Hearing and seeing none, clerk, please call that roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 10 is to award project 25-202 to Advanced Construction out of Green Bay in the amount not to exceed $2,291,803.95.
I would move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Lang. Discussion? That was from the audience.
I just want to make a comment. These are really needed, and you don't really appreciate that unless you live in an area that is too low, and you have problems with getting your sewage out. So these are very, very important things. They do cost a lot of money, but it really helped you a lot if you live in any of these affected areas.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Guthrie. Aye. Christensen.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 11 is related to 12, but 11 is the pre-disaster flood resilience grant authorization and the match commitment letter.
Happy to move approval.
Thank you.
I'll second.
We'll give the second to Steinmetz.
There you go.
Discussion. Comments from the audience? Hearing and seeing none, clerk, please call that roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 12 is the pre-disaster flood resilience resolution.
Move approval.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Seconded by Lang. Discussion? Any comments from the audience? Hearing and seeing none, clerk, call that roll, please.
Morrow.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 13 is an ordinance amendment to Chapter 13, creating a program document for the lateral line replacement fund program and cleaning up previous language. That was included in your packet.
Motion to approve, please.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Boozy. Discussion?
I did have a question. Is the utilities director here?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't think he showed up for the meeting. He was
That's
off.
all right.
He was off today, but I don't.
I will share my
wait,
question
hang on.
publicly, and
Hang
then
on.
I can talk to him next week.
Jared, was Joel back there?
Joel?
Yeah.
Joel's not here today.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Sorry.
My question was just if they had actually awarded money out of this fund yet to
I do
any
not believe
residents?
so.
Okay. And just, I guess, maybe when they anticipate, I mean, it looks like legally we're kind of dotting the i's and crossing the t's here, so I
Yep.
assume,
Creating the program
Yeah.
to then enact it,
okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing and seeing none, clerk, call the roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 14 is an ordinance amendment, also Chapter 13. This one requires the use of storm laterals.
I move approval.
I'm sorry, Lang approved?
I'll second.
And Keemer seconds. Discussion?
One comment that I would like to make, if folks remember more than a few years ago, we got a huge rainstorm here. We had a lot of areas that flooded. I remember a shot we had of one of the sewage pipes. There was so much water, it was like a fountain that was coming out of it. And these are things that are designed to try to help with that. So that folks don't get flooded out of their houses, which I know a lot of folks did. So this city's trying to take care of that to make sure this doesn't happen in the future.
That is absolutely true. Any other comments or questions? Hearing and seeing none, clerk, call that roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
And Christensen.
Aye.
And that's approved. Item number 15 is approval of the Geotechnical Services contract for Door to Dreams and surrounding development area with ECS Midwest LLC.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Seconded by Broderick. Discussion? Comments from the audience?
I did have
Sorry.
another
Go ahead.
question. I guess my question was just, I know we were sharing costs with Door to Dream, so whether the $13,000 is our share, our 50%, or whether that 13K is getting split.
Director Kivala, can you answer that?
Happy to take that question. I do not remember the exact amount of the split, but we
Yeah.
are splitting that cost. So the
Okay.
city is covering that up front. It is cheaper for us to contract with one contractor for us to pay the full amount, and then they will reimburse us.
Okay.
They already have from their board approval to reimburse us for, I want to say the amount is 6,000 or 7,000.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
Very good.
But yes, they already have board approval to reimburse us, so as soon as we expend the funds, we would request that reimbursement that Rettler has coordinated for us. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Anything from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Broderick. Aye. Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lane.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 16 is a request from Green Tree Companies to purchase lots 29 and 30 in the Forest Creek Subdivision and combine them for the purposes of constructing a single-family home. We have one person registered to speak, Andrea Olson.
So when this was decided on to create the development, it started out originally as having a lot more lots and a lot more homes to have a higher density. This then got reduced, it then got reduced again, and then it got reduced again, and now this is a potential reduction again. And I would say wait on this, because why do they want these two lots? I had to combine some things because we don't have the zoning updated online for what these are zoned as. I think they were all R3, and then it's really helpful to have one where it's sold, it's marked for the prices, 25 and 25, $50,000 for that lot. I had the option for a corner lot being $50,000 that now is almost the least expensive lot. That one sort of stinks where it's located. They're saving money by combining two lots, and we're losing the potential for that being used differently for two homes. And if this could be impacted by the zoning code rewrite in the future, based on using traditional neighborhood overlays in situations that are R3, and this is, I think, all R3, not sure, had to look at too many meetings and gave up. We also have in the conditional uses a single-family zero lot line dwellings which do not share a common wall. I couldn't figure out online what that meant, because if they zero lot lines, I thought share a common wall, but if they don't share a common wall, does that then impact the offset of a building on the property? And then would that mean that maybe these houses could actually fit here? So the other thing is, that's pretty much it. I'm just like, why are we like compromising again when we have so many other lots available, and making this two lots into one lot and then making it less expensive on a desirable lot? You can bring in fill. We got to bring in 40,000, what is it, 40,000 pounds or something like that, truckloads for the jail are going to be needed. We bring in fill for everything. We're going to have to bring in fill probably for the courthouse. They can bring in fill and build that. This company just, they have their 30 to 60 or 30 to 90 days. They put up homes. They have that on their website. They have specific homes that they like to build on specific lots, and you can pick which style of home you want. This unfortunately doesn't, their homes don't fit on these lots, but there are other available lots. Why don't we leave these there, allow them to buy other lots, and see if somebody else wants them. We have nothing to lose because they're buying lots everywhere in Wasson, around here, Plover. They're going to buy a different one.
Thank you. Yes, Alder Morrow.
Yeah, we want them to buy lots in Point. Folks might be buying lots in other places, but we want people to buy lots here. And this is, I think, a good I mean, this is a good use of like mixed income, mixed use, and different people who have different lifestyles, different incomes as well. Because we have the smaller lots, we could have larger lots, but the problem we have here in Point is there's not many. I mean, this is one of the few places that you could buy a lot, have and build your house from scratch that has sewer and water, and you don't have to have a well. This is one of the things that Point does not have, as opposed to if you go to Plover or Wausau, they have land, they have lots. So we want people to buy here so that they will also be able to tax the folks here, so that we could have that income here as well. And you want people to live here. And the lots, I mean, this is what's great about this subdivision, is that we have small lots and medium-sized lots, large lots. And if someone wants to buy 2 lots, we're still going to get the money for it. And if they end up building a really super nice home that costs a lot of money, that's going to be a lot more tax money. I mean, so I think that this is so I am in total agreement for this, because this is something that the city really needs. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now that we've heard two sides, could we have Jared speak?
I'd rather not, but, you know, kidding, come on up.
Thank you. So this request came forward from Green Tree Construction. They are the primary developer that is building out in the Forest Creek subdivision at the moment. We do have another developer that has purchased a few of the lots, the smaller lots, and they did intend to do either duplexes or zero lot line single family. They have not indicated which one that would be yet, so still waiting. They have 2 years, obviously, from purchase, and they just purchased them a couple months ago. So they do have quite a bit of time to figure that out. But Green Tree approached us just with an offer saying, hey, we evaluated this corner lot. It does not appear that a single family could go on it. After staff evaluated that with the current zoning code standards, that was true, given the corner setback from street and street, as well as the rear and side setbacks. You were going to end up with a 800 and something square foot house, which we require 900. So, after evaluating that, we had talked with Green Tree to try to encourage them to do a duplex or a zero lot line single family. They said that is not their specialty, and that they would like to submit an offer and see if the city would be amenable. If not, they would move to another lot. But I think one way or the other, this request is going to be coming forward, whether it's now or within 12 months from now. So it's just kind of a question of when would we like them to build and how good of a partner do we want to continue being to them. So,
one very important question, Director. Does staff support this?
Staff does support this. We do not feel this would be a detriment to the subdivision in any way. We are still getting a housing unit. Yes, we are subtracting one possible housing unit. But given how they are building on that block, I don't think it would be a detriment, and I think it would blend in quite well. And then the 2 small lots, in between what would be 2 normal single-family houses, I think would be quite desirable. So, staff does not feel that this would be a detriment.
Thank you. Any other questions for the Director? Yes.
Yeah, I have one question real quickly. In conversation in the rewriting of the zoning code, is there any discussion of altering the minimum size dwelling that's required?
There has been discussions. I can't guarantee anything as we're not to that stage yet.
Okay.
But there have been discussions and interest, shown to staff for that change.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for the Director? If not, how about a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Comments from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Boozy.
No.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Keemer.
No.
Guthrie.
Aye.
And Christensen.
No.
Yep,
Passes?
passes.
That is passed. Item number 17 is a disallowance of a claim from a Douglas Lawrence, a bicyclist struck by a city vehicle. Bicyclist struck city vehicle, not by a city vehicle. The bicyclist struck the city vehicle. I want to be very clear on that. That's why I said it multiple times. The bicyclist struck the city vehicle. Corey, did you need to add anything there?
Just to recap, so this was discussed at Finance closed session. Finance did vote to deny the claim, so that's the recommendation. Also, this was submitted to our insurance company, as all claims are, and our insurance company is recommending denial.
Thank you. Council, what are your wishes?
I would move to deny the claim.
Okay, we're going to give the motion to deny to Christensen, the second to Shuda. The motion is to deny. Any comments there? If you are in favor of the denial, you will vote yes. If you are opposed to the denial, you will vote no, and the clerk will call that roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie. Aye. Keemer.
Aye.
Bradrick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that claim is denied. Item number 18 is a public hearing on the city budget for 2026. I now declare the public hearing open. Anyone wishing to offer testimony, step forward, name and address for the record. Yeah, we don't need to register for a public hearing.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
I had a couple questions about the budget.
Name and address, please.
Andrea Olson, Fortin, Franklin Street, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. I know that this is a drop in the bucket, and I have reached out to ask this question too. However, is there any reason why the city is charging lower than market rates for their rental properties? The rents range from $500 to $1,250. Is Point getting some money from the state or offering reduced rent for anything? Or are we looking for people that need their lower rent as a target market? Because when you look at some of the properties, the last property on Franklin Street, that is one of the lowest rents, and it has a river view. The family has been in it for years and years and years. I understand that, but it's a very low rent. So is the property in the Sculpture Park. That is a 4-bedroom home also, and that is very, very much below the market rate for rent. Also, each year, 1101 Center Point Drive stays vacant. It's $70,000 on missed out revenue per past budgets and potentially $25,000 in budget expenses for just the utilities. That's excluding any maintenance on there. And right now, this year, I didn't see any maintenance budgeted, if I'm remembering right. Why is this not being rented? We're still also paying for it, if I remember right, because we don't fully own it. Over $500,000 in revenue we've missed out on and expenses we've had to pay while it just sits there. Riverfront, I thank you for taking out that additional money that was going to be spent on a band. That when we're in a tight budget, that's something that I would really benefit from, a better band being right there, but I don't feel that it was needed unless we're bringing in people from outside the community that are then going to be staying at hotels, and that would have to be somebody that's a very big name band. And I was trying to figure out why Celebrate Plover brings in more money than Riverfront in a fewer days. In 2024, they brought in $112,000. They do have their run walk. Maybe it's donations for other things, or they run all their own food. I'm not sure, but Celebrate Plover does run as a not-for-profit, as a 501c. So I was trying to figure out if there was any benefits for the city to try to do that for Riverfront. That's not my cup of tea, but finance isn't my forte, but I tend to notice details and differences. I know that some of this money is just a drop in the bucket for our entire budget, but when our taxes are increasing, mine have more than doubled, almost tripled since I moved into my house. Like, a drop in the bucket gets bigger each year that we sit on things and we don't do anything about them.
Thank you. The public hearing is still open. Public hearing remains open. And for the third and final time, the public hearing is open. Seeing and hearing no one else wishing to speak, we will declare the public hearing closed. Thank you, Andrea. I think you're the first person in a couple of years to speak at the public hearing on the city budget. Item number 19 is a resolution adopting the city budget for the city of Stevens Point for the year 2026. Comptroller.
Yes, so budget adoption is before you. The only change that was made is the change that was made at Finance, where we added the $5,000 back in for deer culling. Other than that, there's no other changes since the Finance Committee meeting. So.
Thank you. Questions? If not, I would...
Motion to approve the
Thank you.
2026 budget.
Yeah, I would second that.
Seconded by Christensen. Discussion? Any additional comments? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 20 is a resolution appropriating the necessary funds for the city of Stevens Point for 2026 and levying the tax rate for the year 2025. Comptroller, anything to add there?
Yeah, not really. This is just levying the tax rate and appropriating the funds as the agenda item states. So,
Thank you. Questions, comments, or a motion?
I would move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Lang. Discussion? Comments from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, clerk, please call that roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
And Christensen.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 21 is a resolution providing for writing special assessments and special charges into the tax roll for 2025. Comptroller?
yes, so this resolution just adds the special assessments, special charges, and delinquent water utility bills onto the tax roll for tax year 2025.
Keemer, I'll move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Burr. Discussion? Comments from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, clerk, please call that roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 22 is a resolution authorizing and providing for the issuance and establishing parameters for the sale of not to exceed $18,945,000 in general obligation promissory notes, Series 2025A, and certain related details. Comptroller.
Yes, and we also have Greg Johnson online from Ellers as well, if there are any questions for him. But basically, this is as discussed at Finance. This is our annual general obligation borrowing to pay for capital projects. The other reason why it's a little bit higher is because we did incorporate the stormwater borrowing into the general obligation borrowing as well, because they didn't quite have the financial capacity to do it themselves. And then the only other item to add is we are borrowing an additional $5 million for 2026 capital projects, just because 2026 is going to be a really heavy year for borrowing, so that'll help for our cash flow for all these projects that are coming in 2026, and also help to smooth out that increase in general obligation debt. So, and Greg, I don't know if you had anything to add?
No, that's a good summary. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Are there any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Moved by Lang.
Second.
Seconded by Morrow. Discussion there? Comments from the audience? Hearing and seeing none, clerk, please call that roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
And Christensen.
Aye.
And that's approved. Item number 23 is a resolution authorizing and providing for the issuance and establishing the parameters for the sale of not to exceed $2,590,000 in sewerage system revenue bonds, Series 2025, and certain related details. Comptroller?
Yes, so unlike general obligation debt that's secured by our ability to tax, sewer system revenue bonds are secured by the revenues of the sewer utility, so there's no exposure to taxpayers, or there shouldn't be any exposure to taxpayers. And this is just to do the annual capital improvements for the sewer utility.
I'll move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Morrow. Discussion? Comments? Seeing and hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Christensen,
Aye.
Guthrie,
Aye.
Kimmer,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Steinmetz,
Aye.
Shuda,
Aye.
Lang,
Aye.
Boozy,
Aye.
and Morrow.
Aye.
You know, Mark and I always don't always get along, but he knows it's coming, and he knows that I just can't control myself. I see the headlines tomorrow. City spends $2.5 million on crap. All right, item number 24 is a resolution authorizing and providing for the issuance and establishing parameters for the sale of not to exceed $5,215,000 for water system revenue bond, Series 2025, and certain related details.
Yes, so the repayment is secured by the water utility and water utility revenues, and this is for the annual capital projects of the water utility.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
We'll give the second to Boozy. Oh,
I think it was
that was Morrow? Okay, then we'll give it to Morrow. Sorry. I'm trying to get my head on a swivel here, but seconded by Morrow. Discussion there? Comments from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, clerk, please call that roll.
Morrow,
Aye.
Boozy,
Aye.
Lang,
Aye.
Shuda,
Aye.
Steinmetz,
Aye.
Burr,
Aye.
Broderick,
Aye.
Kimmer,
Aye.
Guthrie,
Aye.
and Christensen.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 25 is a resolution approving the Portage County Business Park Business Improvement District 2026 operating plan budget and the 2025 bid assessment rate. We have Karen Margalovsky, who is our bid director here. We've got Director Kivala. I like getting your name out there because people don't know you well enough yet, I think. Both of you or either of you can speak.
We are going to tag team the next two items here. I'm going to take Business Park. Karen will take the downtown.
Okay.
Tried to help complete the Business Park operations plan before Karen came on board, just to try to ease the onboarding process for her. So I guess happy to go over just a few of the highlights. So there was an increase to the overall assessment to the bid properties out in the Business Park. It was in the 0.7s and now it's in 0.9, 0.91. And some change, to be specific. That increase is coming from some primarily deferred maintenance that had occurred prior to us taking over the park that we do need to take care of now. That involves the fountains, the ponds, some of the irrigation lines, some of the trail work, things like that. Some bigger ticket items that just are a little more costly. So the bid board did opt to take on some of those this next year and then take on some the following year. And that is one of their action plans, is to create more of that capital improvement list, projects list, to space out those projects so it's not hitting all of those property owners all at once. So bid assessment rate is 0.91 per thousand. That equates out of everything to about a total budget of $230,307. Some of the primary bid action items, updating the deed restrictions, protective covenants. Those are quite out of date and do need to be revised. So our zoning administrator and associate planner, Adam Kuhn, he is going to be assisting with that, just in cooperation, I guess, with the zoning code rewrite to make sure that's all cohesive. Digitizing files, maintenance of common elements, just trying to keep up with what needs to be maintained, the CIP to cover deferred maintenance, and then also looking at marketing signs and rebranding the park potentially. So doing some evaluation of that. We'll note, as we did transfer the document to a PDF to attach it to the agenda packet, there were some errors in some of the screenshots, so we will fix those, mostly in the attorney's letter and in the budget attachments. So we will make sure those are fixed and corrected before it's made official. But just to know they're good to go, it's just formatting error. But this would be looking for an approval for the ops budget and assessment role as a part of that resolution.
Thank you. Any questions for the director? If not, need a motion?
I move approval.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Seconded by Shuda. Discussion.
If anyone's interested in seeing this body in action, we have a meeting in about 12 hours.
Okay. Nice and early.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Comments from the audience? Okay, hearing and seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that's approved. And number 26 is a resolution approving the Downtown Business Improvement District 2026 Operating Plan Budget and Bid Assessment Rate for the 2025 tax bill. Karen.
Yes, hello. So I came in just on October 1st, as you know, and one of the first things that I was assigned to do was to update the operating plan. Brian Cummings, the chair, had already started some of the process and included a lot of the items. So what you have in front of you is the budget that has been approved and the operating plan, and you also will see that there was a letter from the attorney upon Jared's recommendation, because we had that for the business park. We had it back in 2023 when the downtown bid was created, but we had not had the attorney's opinion for the last 2 years. And so I just got that before we had to post this. So you will see that he has not signed it yet, and there's some verbiage that somehow over the last few years just was not worded properly that he wants. So I'm presenting this knowing that we will change that verbiage, but everything else, the core of the plan, all of the goal setting, we have at least 2 goals for each one of our committees. Being a Main Street program, we have the promotions, the design, the economic vitality, and the organization committees. And then also as an executive director, I think there's like 4 goals in there that we want to move the organization forward and work with our business improvement district. So what I'm asking is that you approve it, knowing that we will make the attorney's recommendations to the verbiage of the details of the plan, but everything else is core and strong within the operating plan. Is there any questions?
I do have a question, Director Margolovsky. Is there anything going on downtown that the bid's doing this week? Maybe, I don't know, Thursday or maybe Saturday next week?
Yes. So we have the holiday parade this Thursday. Note to the public that Main Street will close down at 3 o'clock, so don't park on the Main Street where the parade will be running, because we don't want you to get a ticket. We want you to enjoy the holiday parade. And so come down to town at 6 p.m. The mayor is going to generously light the Christmas tree and start off our holiday season. And there's a lot. I think the last count there was 50 entries for the parade floats, and some really neat. I've seen some pictures because they're excited to be in Stevens Point. So we're drawing from the greater population of the Stevens Point and Central Wisconsin area. So it's very exciting that they want to come into our downtown.
Anything Saturday?
There is. Saturday is the kickoff for our Shop Small Week. So we have our passport program. So we're encouraging you to come shop downtown at our 24 businesses and the other businesses that are maybe have different hours that didn't fit into the passport program. And there's over 500 prizes. So lots of generous sponsors. UW Credit Union has sponsored, and we have, over $500 in prizes if you shop. So spend money, you might get some money back. And I want to do a shout out to Schultz Property Investment as the parade sponsor too. So gotta support our people that support us. And then December 13th is our downtown Christmas, where the reindeer will be here, and Santa and photos and all kinds of great shopping.
So if you wait that long to get your presents, then there'll be fun and entertainment in the downtown area. So
Perfect. Thank you so much. Any questions for the director? All right, then, thank you, and a motion would be in order.
I would love to move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Steinmetz. Discussion? Comments from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, clerk, please call that roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
Lang. Shuda.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
And Christensen.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 27 is a resolution authorizing an application for the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation's fiscal year 26 site assessment grant. Director, do you want to add anything to that? You don't have to. Any questions, comments, or a motion?
I'll move approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Morrow. Discussion there? Comments from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, clerk, please call that roll.
Christensen.
Aye.
Guthrie.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Broderick.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Steinmetz.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Boozy.
Aye.
And Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Item number 28 is postponed. I believe we'll be taking that up at a special meeting at noon on December 2nd, right here in this room. Watch for details. And items 29 and 30 will just be coming back at a later date. With that, our agenda is exhausted, and we are adjourned at 8:45.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.